You are holding something ancient tonight, a code whispered through centuries, hidden in temples, scriptures, and dreams. It was never written in gold, it was never guarded by kings, it was always inside you. This is the ancient money code, a pattern of imagination that unlocks wealth, not tomorrow, not one day in the future, but tonight. You have searched for techniques, for systems, for strategies. You've worked harder, pushed stronger, waited longer, and yet wealth always seemed to slip just beyond reach. Why? Because you were looking outside, and the code was never outside. Imagine this: every dollar you will ever touch already exists. Every opportunity, every client, every idea, every opening, already waiting in the invisible world. The ancients knew it, Neville Goddard taught it, but most of the world forgot. The code is simple. What you assume as true in imagination must harden into fact. This is not metaphor, this is law. Tonight you will learn how to apply it, not as theory, not as philosophy, but as ritual, as a doorway you can step through. And as you listen, something begins to shift in you, a tension, a curiosity, a flicker of recognition, because deep down you've always known you were meant for more, you were meant for abundance, and wealth is not given, it is unlocked. This video is not entertainment, it is initiation. If you allow yourself to feel the words, to imagine with them, you will not leave the same. You will begin to carry the ancient code in your own consciousness, and the moment you do, life bends, opportunities arrive, money flows, because the outer world can only echo the inner. Stay with me until the end. Each chapter reveals a hidden piece of the code. By the conclusion, you will not just know it, you will live it. And if you are ready for this journey, pause for a moment. Click subscribe now, not for me, but as a declaration to yourself. I am ready to unlock the code. Now let us begin. The forgotten revelation. You are standing at the threshold of something ancient, something the world once knew, but slowly buried under noise, distraction, and fear. The ancient money code was never about coins or bills. It was never about markets or economies. It was always about states of consciousness. Think of the first humans who looked up at the stars. They did not see fireballs of gas. They saw gods, signs, messages. They understood that reality was not just matter, it was meaning, and meaning was shaped by imagination. The Egyptians built temples not only of stone, but of thought. The Hebrews wrote stories not only of history, but of inner law. Mystics across cultures whispered the same truth. The outer world bends to the inner image. But somewhere along the way, this truth was forgotten. You were taught that money is outside of you, that wealth belongs to banks, systems, employers, economies. You were told to chase it, to run harder, to sacrifice more, to compete endlessly. And yet, hasn't a part of you always felt that something was missing? That money, no matter how much, slips through your fingers like water, because the source was never in the work itself, but in the invisible pattern beneath it. This is the forgotten revelation. Every form of wealth is a shadow cast by the inner state you occupy. Change the state, and the shadow must change. When Neville Goddard taught this, he did not invent it. He uncovered what the ancients already knew, that imagination is not fantasy, it is creation. That when you dare to assume yourself rich, whole, complete, without waiting for evidence, you are writing a command that reality must obey. And here is the mystery most never grasp. The command is not spoken with words, it is spoken with feeling, with the quiet inner knowing that says, "This is already mine." This is why the ancients spoke of faith, of vision, of inner sight, not because it was poetry, but because it was power. The forgotten revelation is this: you do not manifest money, you manifest the state of being wealthy, and money comes as its reflection. Pause here Feel this. Let it sink in. Because once you remember this truth, the world is no longer a battlefield for scraps. It becomes a mirror of your chosen inner wealth. And tonight, you will learn not just to remember this revelation, but to use it. The secret of the ancient masters. You are not the first to seek the code. Long before banks, stock markets, and paper currency, men and women were already shaping wealth through mind, through ritual, through imagination. The ancients were not naive. They knew survival demanded food, shelter, and resources, but they also knew that behind every harvest, every trade, every flow of gold, there was a law greater than labor, the law of inner image. The Egyptians practiced it in silence. Before carving stone, they carved vision. Priests and pharaohs would enter chambers of stillness, holding images so real that the body trembled as though it had already lived them. And what they saw within would appear without. The Hebrew prophets spoke it in parables, to call those things which are not as though they were, to stand inside the unseen until the unseen became flesh. This was not faith in the future, it was embodiment in the now. Across India, sages whispered it differently. Maya, they called the world, an illusion, a projection. Not to dismiss life, but to reveal its origin. What you see is not primary, what you assume is. And centuries later, Neville Goddard took this golden thread and placed it in your hands. He stripped away ritual, stripped away temples, stripped away robes. He showed you the raw power, imagination. But here lies the secret most miss. The ancients never treated imagination as daydream. They treated it as law, an exact science of creation. They understood that if you persist in an inner picture, no matter what the senses scream, the outer must bend. It has no choice. Think about this. Every master, every mystic, every enlightened teacher pointed to the same truth. You are not reacting to the world. You are projecting it. And if wealth has escaped you, it is not because you lack opportunity. It is because you have forgotten to assume wealth as natural, as ordinary, as inevitable. The masters knew, when you walk in the state of wealth inwardly, life arranges itself outwardly. Events, people, chances, everything bends. This is why the code was never written in books. It was written in silence, in ritual, in imagination, passed from master to student, not with words but with states. And now, you hold it again. Pause. Feel this inheritance. Feel the lineage of power running through you. You are not learning something new. You are remembering something eternal. And if you are ready to carry this secret forward, declare it now. Click subscribe, not as routine, but as your public sign that you are part of this chain. Type in the comments, I carry the code, because when you declare it, you seal it, and now you are ready for the next step. The language of wealth. Wealth has a language, not numbers, not contracts, not the clinking of coins or the flashing of screens. The true language of wealth is assumption. You have been taught to speak the language of lack, to repeat phrases like, I can't afford it. That's too expensive. Maybe one day. Every word carries a vibration, every assumption is a command, and the world listens to the language you speak inside. When you tell yourself that money is scarce, you are not describing reality, you are creating it. When you assume that others have more, that you must wait your turn, that the system is stacked against you, you are not observing truth. You are authoring it. This is why Neville said, dare to assume. Because assumption is the tongue of creation. It is the hidden language the universe obeys. Think of it this way. Your bank account is a mirror. It does not speak first. It only reflects what you are saying within. If inwardly you say, I am always struggling, the mirror obeys. If inwardly you say, money flows to me easily, the mirror obeys. It cannot argue, it can only echo. This is the law the ancients understood. Wealth is not earned. It is spoken into being by the state you occupy. And if you want to change the reflection, you must change the language. Tonight, begin to notice how you speak to yourself. Do you whisper lack, or do you declare wealth? Pause and test it now. Say inside yourself, I live in abundance. I always have enough. Feel how different it is from the silent complaints you often repeat. One is a curse, the other is a code. And here is the mystery. The language of wealth is not loud. It is not desperate. It does not beg. It does not shout. It is quiet, certain, unmoved. It says, this is already mine, even when the senses scream the opposite. It holds the tone of ownership long before the proof arrives. This is the voice you must learn to speak, not once, not only in meditation, but as your natural tongue, every day, every moment. And the more fluent you become in this language, the faster wealth must appear, because reality has no choice but to match the words of your inner world. You are always speaking, always declaring. The only question is, do you speak lack or do you speak wealth, the invisible block? You have felt it, that invisible weight, the silent wall between you and the life you desire. You try, you work harder, you dream bigger, and yet something resists. It is not the world resisting you. It is not the economy. It is not other people. The block is closer, more intimate. It lives inside you. This invisible block is belief, not conscious belief, the kind you declare in words, but unconscious belief, the quiet background assumption you never question. You say, I want wealth, but inside a whisper says, I'm not worthy. You say, I will be rich, but beneath it a deeper voice says, not me, not people like me. And this is why the code seems locked, because you are trying to enter with one voice while another voice cancels the command. Neville called this the divided mind, the double imagination. You pray for wealth while secretly assuming poverty. You affirm abundance while silently expecting bills and debt, and the law is exact. It does not respond to words. It responds to the state you actually occupy. So long as the block remains, wealth cannot flow. Not because it is withheld from you, but because you are not aligned with it. Pause and look within. Ask yourself honestly, what do I really assume about money? Do I feel it loves me, flows to me, seeks me, or do I feel it runs from me, avoids me, abandons me? This is the invisible block, not lack of skill, not lack of intelligence, not lack of opportunity. It is the silent story you have been repeating about yourself. And here is the truth. The block is not permanent. It dissolves the moment you dare to assume differently. The moment you stop arguing for your limitations and begin to imagine as if you were already free. But this takes courage, because the senses will fight you, your memories will fight you, your doubts will scream louder than ever. Yet if you persist, if you choose the inner vision over the outer evidence, the block crumbles, the way clears, and money, which once seemed locked away, begins to flow like water. This is why the code requires practice. Not effort, not struggle, but quiet persistence. To hold the new assumption until it feels natural. To feel wealthy until you forget you ever felt poor. And when that happens, the invisible block is gone. Forever. The code in action. You now know the code. You have felt its echoes through the ancients. You have uncovered the block that holds it back. And now it is time to use it. This is the turning point, the moment when knowledge becomes power, the moment when theory becomes creation. The code is simple, yet most dismiss it because it feels too simple. They look for effort, for sacrifice, for a hidden trick. But wealth does not bow to struggle. It bends to imagination. Here is how you apply it. First, enter the silence. Close your eyes. Turn away from the world of facts and numbers and bills. The world will always scream lack, but you must turn inward. where the code is alive. Second, choose the state you desire, not vaguely, not someday, clearly. Do you wish to see money in your hands? Do you wish to feel the joy of paying with ease? Do you wish to hold the certainty of freedom? See it now, feel it now, not as hope, not as future, but as real, in this very moment. Third, surrender to the feeling. Let the scene play itself within you until it becomes natural, until it feels less like imagination and more like memory. This is the secret. You are not trying to make it happen. You are remembering that it already has. And fourth, persist. When doubt rises, return to the scene. When fear whispers, return to the state. When circumstances challenge, return again. Because what you hold within must by law harden into fact. Neville said, "Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled." That is the code in its purest form. Not waiting, not begging, not asking, assuming. Now pause. Ask yourself, what would I feel if I already had it? Go there. Live there. Walk as if it were so. This is not a game. This is creation. This is the ancient money code in action. And if this truth resonates with you, if you can already feel the shift inside your chest, type it now in the comments. I activate the code. Because when you declare it, you anchor it. When you speak it, you strengthen it. And while you're here, make sure you're subscribed. This channel is a vault of teachings like this. Miss one, and you might miss the key that changes everything. So subscribe now, and let's keep unlocking, step by step. The night ritual. Night is sacred. When the world grows quiet, the code becomes clearer, distractions fade, the senses grow soft, and your imagination, your true power, awakens. This is why Neville placed so much importance on the moments before sleep, because in those moments the conscious mind drifts and the subconscious stands wide open, and whatever you impress upon it in that silence will grow roots and appear as fact. The night ritual is simple, but it is the doorway. First, prepare yourself, lie down, allow your body to grow still, heavy, comfortable. Let the weight of the day dissolve. This is not about forcing, it is about surrendering into stillness. Second, choose your scene. One short, simple picture that implies your desire is already fulfilled. Do not choose something far away. Choose something intimate, something you can feel. For wealth, it may be the feeling of handing money with ease. It may be the sound of gratitude from someone you helped. It may be the simple piece of checking your account and smiling. Third, step into it. See it through your own eyes. Hear the sounds, feel the textures, smell the air. Most importantly, feel the emotion, the joy, the relief, the gratitude, the naturalness. As if this is not a dream, but memory. Fourth, repeat it gently, night after night. Not as a task, but as a lullaby. Let the scene carry you into sleep. Do not fight to control it. Let it soften into the subconscious. For what enters sleep must rise as reality. This is the night ritual. This is how you use the code tonight. Do not underestimate its simplicity. The world teaches you to chase, to grind, to strive. But the ancients knew creation is not born from struggle, but from vision. You are not fighting to make wealth happen. You are planting it in the only soil that matters, your imagination. And if you persist, the harvest is certain. So tonight, before you sleep, do this. Not as an experiment, not with doubt, but with quiet certainty. Do it as if you are remembering what is already yours, and soon you will wake to signs, opportunities, and flows of money you once thought impossible, because the code has no choice but to obey. The awakening of the inner millionaire. Wealth is not something you chase. It is something you awaken. The moment you begin to live from the state of wealth, before evidence, before proof, you step into your true identity. This is the awakening of the inner millionaire. It does not begin with money in your account. It begins with who you know yourself to be. Ask yourself now, Who am I really? Am I someone waiting for money, or am I someone money is waiting for? The world has trained you to believe that wealth is earned by hours, effort and sacrifice. But the ancients knew otherwise. They knew that wealth flows to identity, not labor. It comes to the one who already carries the vibration of ownership within. This is why so many chase money, but never catch it. They are chasing a shadow. They have not yet awakened the source inside themselves. And here is the shift. When you begin to walk as if you are already wealthy, when you carry yourself with quiet certainty, when you make choices from abundance instead of fear, when you let gratitude replace desperation, you become a magnet. Opportunities notice you, people trust you, doors open that once seemed locked, because wealth recognizes wealth. And when you awaken the millionaire within, life mirrors it back. This awakening is not arrogance, it is not pretending. It is remembering who you are before the world told you otherwise. It is stepping back into the natural state of sufficiency, of abundance, of ease. Pause now. Feel what it would be like to live from that place. To wake and never doubt whether you will have enough. To move through your day with the quiet confidence of one who is already supplied. To no longer ask, how will I get money? But instead declare, I already live in wealth and money flows to me. This is the inner millionaire, not the desperate seeker, not the worrier, but the creator, the master of state, the one who bends reality from within. And when this awakening happens, you no longer chase money, you carry it, you embody it, and by law it must appear. This is not fantasy, it is identity, and identity is destiny. So let it awaken in you tonight, not slowly, not someday, now. Silent proofs. You may wonder, does this code truly work? Is it more than words, more than theory, more than wishful thinking? The answer is not hidden in arguments. It is revealed in proof, not loud, not dramatic, not shouted from rooftops, but silent, subtle, certain. Neville spoke of countless men and women who tested this law, ordinary people with ordinary lives who dared to assume extraordinary states. One man imagined holding a letter of employment when, in the world of fact, no work was available. He felt the weight of the paper in his hand, night after night. Soon the job appeared, as if it had been waiting all along. Another woman assumed wealth for her family, though debts surrounded them. Each night she drifted to sleep in the feeling of security, of bills paid, of accounts full. Opportunities arose, checks arrived, and in weeks her outer life reflected the inner picture she carried. Perhaps you already have silent proofs of your own. Moments where you thought of someone and they suddenly called. Moments where you expected something and it unfolded. These are not coincidences. They are reminders that the code is always at work. The question is not, does it work? The question is, are you using it deliberately? And the beauty of this law is that it does not ask for belief in advance. It asks only that you test it, quietly, persistently, tonight. Begin with something small if you wish. Imagine a simple gift, a compliment, a call from someone you have not heard in years. Let it come, and when it does, you will know the law is alive. Then move to more, to money, to wealth, to freedom, and watch as proofs multiply around you. The proofs will not always arrive with thunder. Sometimes they come as whispers, a chance meeting, an unexpected refund, a new idea that unlocks a door you never saw before. But each proof, no matter how quiet, strengthens the truth. Imagination creates reality. Assumption hardens into fact. The code is real, and soon your life becomes the testimony. Your days become the silent proof. You walk not as a seeker, but as a knower. Not asking if it works, but living because it does. The code is yours. You have walked through the revelation. You have seen the secret of the masters. You have learned the language of wealth. You have uncovered the invisible block. You have placed the code in action. You have practiced the night ritual. You have awakened the inner millionaire, and you have witnessed the silent proofs. Now all that remains is to live it. Because this is not knowledge to store away. It is not another idea to admire and then forget. It is a code to be used tonight, tomorrow, every day that follows. You no longer need to chase money. You no longer need to beg, to fear, to wait. The code is already alive within you. It always has been. The only question is, will you use it? Pause and ask yourself right now, who am I leaving this video? Am I the same person I was when it began? Or have I stepped into something greater? Because the truth is, you are not the same. You cannot unhear what you now know. You cannot unknow that wealth flows not from struggle, but from assumption. You cannot forget that the mirror only reflects the state you hold within. And if tonight you dare to apply even one piece of this teaching, you will feel the shift. It may come as peace, it may come as a strange new confidence, it may come as an opportunity that seems to appear from nowhere, but it will come, because the code always answers. So let this be your declaration. From this moment on, I walk in the state of wealth, not tomorrow, not someday, now. Say it with me inside your heart. I am wealthy, I am abundant, I live in overflow. Not because the world says so, not because of numbers in an account, but because you have assumed it, and what you assume must harden into fact. This is your inheritance, this is your power, this is the ancient money code. Now before you go, seal this journey. Type in the comments, the code is mine. When you write it, you lock it in. When you speak it, you activate it. And if you are ready for the next revelation, subscribe now, because this channel is not entertainment, it is initiation, and the next video will carry you deeper. Together, we are remembering what the world forgot. Together, we are awakening the masters within. So take a breath, feel the code in your chest, carry it into sleep tonight, and watch as tomorrow bends in your favor. The code is not far, the code is not hidden, the code is you, and now you will live it. You